welcome. I'm Paul Larmand with IG Wealth Management. Feel pretty lucky today to have John Walker here with me. We're going to have a bit of a conversation just about John's business, how things are kind of moving along here as we're 2 years into the pandemic, and maybe what you're seeing in the environment. John's a corporate lawyer with HGR Grant Partners, so. John, if you want to maybe share with us kind of what you're up to these days,
Sure.
or what's going on with the business.
Sure. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer with HGR Grant Partners. I'm actually the managing partner, so I'm dealing with stuff as a business owner these days, as well as helping my clients navigate through this brave new world. I focus a lot on business purchase and sales, commercial contracts, leasing, financing, shareholder agreements, all kinds of fun stuff, but also do a lot of commercial real estate dealings, whether buying, selling.
Yeah, I know I have many clients who deal with you directly. You're my lawyer in this area. You're the person I lean on for
you
advice.
You can say that.
Yeah, there we go. That I lean on for advice in this area. So,
Sure.
Certainly. You've got a greght reputation. I think we're lucky to have you in the area. So
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. What are you sort of seeing? Maybe if we could chat a little bit about pandemic has hit. How are you seeing kind of dealing with your client base throughout that? Have you noticed any major changes in how you're dealing directly with them? I know from our side. The move to virtual has been something that some clients have adopted easier than others.
Yep.
We've gone to DocuSign, which I know is something that you guys have used for a long, longer than we have for sure. I think that adoption for us has made maybe doing business a little bit easier. So are you finding that things are maybe better, worse, different?
From the legal profession, I think, is one that's doesn't evolve rapidly with the time. So I think COVID has certainly given the legal profession a bit of a kick in the pants in that way, which has been a good thing. Our firm included, we were, like many law practices, I think, we were a bit stuck in our ways, certain things, whether it's banking or adopting, electronic signatures and things like that.
Sure.
So from our business perspective, we certainly are seeing a lot more clients by way of video conference. We're dealing with documents and electronic copies only a lot more. Not seeing as many clients face to face as I used to. I do kind of miss that in a way. I would like to go back to where we were in that respect, but at the same time, you don't need to see the client every step of a transaction or whatever their matter is.
If you could have things signed virtually,
it's much easier. Get on a quick video call. You're saving the client travel time or the lawyer travel time, which ultimately ends up being more cost effective for the client. Maybe the bigger advances, like I deal with a lot of kind of sophisticated commercial transactions. So even before the COVID-19, my practice was still dealing a decent amount with electronic signatures and kind of original wet signatures and things like that were not as important as some of the other practice areas might be, like wills or estates planning.
Yeah.
I know our litigators have really, family law in particular, they're doing a lot of virtual court appearances, which is fantastic. It's saving them a lot of time, saving the clients a lot of money. Like motions court, I was just talking to one of our family law lawyers the other day. Motions court, it used to be that you'd show up at 9:30 when the court opened. You hope you get called that day.
Yeah.
There'd be 30 lawyers in the pews kind of waiting for their tap on the shoulder. Lawyers are waiting, they're on their phone, you can't really do much.
Yeah.
Clients paying for their time sitting there.
Yeah.
They're hoping by 5 o'clock they get called, maybe they don't. And what a waste of resources, what
Sure.
a waste of everyone's time. So now virtually they're doing the same thing. They're in a queue, but they're at their desk, they're on
able to do other things at the same time.
Yeah, the client's only going to pay for the 15 minutes. They're talking to the judge or opposing counsel, and then they're back dealing with
significantly more efficient.
Way more efficient, better quality of life for our staff and for our lawyers, which is great in that respect.
Yeah.
And more efficient for the client. So that's a win-win. So we're hoping some of those strides stay. And I'm not a litigator, so I don't keep up to date on what the courts are planning. But I know there's a lot of optimism.
Maybe some sort of blend of the two moving forward. Okay, well, maybe if we could switch gears a little bit. As I mentioned, I know that you have many of my clients deal directly with you. Perhaps there's people who are watching this who, are thinking about, incorporating, who are incorporated already. Any advice for those people? Not that maybe things have changed dramatically in that way, but any advice for those people today?
I think for people looking, if they're going to start a new business, COVID hasn't really changed much in terms of the proper steps, to get good accounting advice from the get-go. Consider incorporating. It's not necessarily going to be the right move for every business, every situation. It's a pretty, something you have to look on a case-by-case basis.
It's a complex situation.
There's potential benefits from a tax perspective. There's generally benefits from a liability perspective. So for people that don't know, incorporating often presents a buffer between you and the world and liabilities, most liabilities. So if you start a business and you incorporate, and the business were to not be as successful as you may hope, then you're sheltering yourself from some of those liabilities out there by incorporating, so that you're not risking your home, your personal savings, all that type of stuff. It's the company's responsibility to go out and fulfill its obligations under contracts or whatever it is the company is going to be doing. And if for whatever reason the company is unable to fulfill those, it's going to be the company where the buck stops, not just
the
the business owner. Yeah, so that's been important. In terms of other stuff, I'm seeing real estate has been a very hot topic the last 18 months with the way prices have kind of skyrocketed. Lots of opportunities. Yeah, people buying, people selling. The biggest piece of advice I give for people thinking about entering into a transaction like that is particularly on the buyer side would be although things are more efficient with electronic documents, we're seeing a lot of slowdown in the real estate world because of volume.
Sure.
And so that can be a bit of a problem. Every step of the transaction, whether you got to go and get financing, the banks are swamped. They've got so many applications, it's taking a bit longer than normal to get that kind of stuff through. If you need environmental consultants to come and take a look at the real estate, they're bucks. Surveyors, they're bucks. So I've seen situations where buyers have kind of used the traditional timeframes in these types of offers, and they find themselves having to go back to the seller and say, I need more time. And normally that's not a big deal, especially on commercial transactions. Parties are generally, very keen to work together to see this through. But real estate values fluctuate so rapidly that I've seen a few deals where the seller said, I'd love to give you an extension, but the property's worth more than it was 60 days ago now. I'm getting offers, so I'm not going to grant you your extension. I'm sorry that our deal is going to die, and I've got another one waiting for more money.
Interesting.
So if you're a buyer, you really want to build in appropriate timeframes or the ability to unilaterally extend deals, because otherwise you might lose that opportunity.
Yeah, so, I think it's something that is across the board. It's great advice. It's something across the board. We're all getting used to just the fact that, you go to buy something and sometimes it just takes a little longer for that thing to show up. And, we've all got that ultimate excuse back in their back pocket that it's COVID related, right?
That's
you
right.
hear that more than ever, ever today.
Yeah, almost any industry that I see clients that are dealing with the problems of getting inventory and getting supplies are, it's something everyone raises, that and workforce. Like those are the two big concerns.
Yeah.
I need, my business is growing so rapidly, I need more employees, and I can't count on when my usual orders of inventory will come. I hear that almost daily. Yeah.
I know you mentioned at the beginning you're a managing partner. Any how are you seeing things kind of go with that role? Maybe if we take a look at it, anything changed in the way your approach in working with the other lawyers in practice? Maybe this could be some feedback to people out there who are building a business or working within a business currently to say, what are other people in that same role, or in a similar position doing?
Right. So it was jumping into the deep end a bit, but I think a lot of small business owners feel that way when they take that step. So it's been good for me because I feel like I'm facing the same day-to-day challenges that business owners do. So before, when I was an employee or an associate lawyer, it was easy for me to kind of sit on the sidelines and tell my colleague, oh, you should do this, just do this. What's so difficult about that? But then when you're the one involved in helping to make those decisions, it changes your perspective.
For sure.
You feel the stress of dealing with whatever the HR challenge is, or when COVID first hit, I'm sure most business owners lost a lot of sleep as did I, wondering what the future holds for your particular business. Is this going to be a death knell? Is it going to be an opportunity? Everyone was very nervous about what that had to happen. So riding that wave as a managing partner has certainly been a learning experience for me. Put a lot of gray hairs on too. So.
You're not alone in that, certainly. I think pretty much everyone that I deal with from a business owner perspective has had that same feeling, whether it's something where COVID has been a positive thing for the business or a negative for the business. I think it's that uncertainty that is maybe driven that anxiety.
Absolutely. And it seems to be two distinct camps. That this has either been, a disaster for a particular business, that it's, really slowed them down. It's creating all kinds of financial hardship, which is terrible. Or it's the other extreme where people have never been busier. There seems to be very few clients that I deal with that are just kind of, middle of the road, no big deal.
Status quo, everything's the same.
It's kind of one extreme or the other.
And it'll be interesting to see where that, kind of goes coming out of this. Mm-hmm. Well, John, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
We're hoping that these sessions will, provide people with some feedback. Hopefully, if you're in a similar position, or obviously, if you are seeking advice, or if you're in one of these complex situations, John is a person that I would absolutely recommend. So, John, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.